This presentation is going to show you how to make the calculations for your Oreo Lab. You should have already entered this data into a spreadsheet. You're going to begin by clicking on B15 and typing in equals average, and then you will highlight the cells you want to take the average of. So cells B3 all the way through B14, and click enter, and then now you have the average of those cells. We'll do the same thing here, equals average. Sometimes Google Sheets thinks it's smarter than you are and tries to make recommendations that are not always good ones, so ignore those recommendations. So you'll go all the way down to your last data point and hit enter. Another way of doing that, instead of having to retype in equals average, you could have actually just copied and pasted this cell, so Control C and Control V, and it basically takes the formula that was used for this cell and it applies it to this cell using the values that are above it. All right, so the standard deviation will be equals STDEV, and you will highlight basically B14 through B3. Make sure that you don't accidentally include B15 in that, because that's an average. It's not one of the samples that we took. And we'll do the same thing over here. You can either type in equals STDEV and highlight your averages, or a quicker way would be just to copy and paste that cell into this one. Your number of samples for each population was 12. We had the 12 Oreos. We need to calculate the square root of the samples, so we'll type in S equals SQRT, open parentheses, and then we'll click the cell that has the 12 in it, and we'll do that for both. And then we need to find the standard error of the mean. Standard error of the mean is just the standard deviation divided by the square root of number of samples, so that simply equals SD / which means divide, and then click the number we want to divide by, which is the square root of the number of samples. You should get that. We can copy and paste that into this cell. And if we want to multiply it times 2, since we'll be at a 95 confidence interval, we'll type in equals product, open parentheses, 2, comma, and then the number we want to multiply times 2. And we'll copy and paste this into this column. So again, it's the same formula, we're just multiplying 2 times this. All right, so let's talk about what this even means in the context of our Oreo Lab. So I'm going to open up Paint, and we'll pretend like we've got some graph paper here. Let's make sure that our recording hasn't gone away. It looks like it did. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, we had some technical difficulties, so thank you for my chaotic recording that we have here. So we are going to make a fake graph right here because I don't have a graph template handy. And you're going to make a bar graph here. So basically you'll have the regular Oreos and whatever the average is of their filling, and then the double stuffed Oreos and whatever the average is of their filling. And then you need to go up and down whatever the standard deviation is. So let's say that the average of this one was, let's find what that was. It was 11.52, and then the SEM, 2SEM was 0.107. So you're essentially taking 11.525 plus 0.1076666, whatever that is. And that tells you how far up your error bars need to go. So if this is the 11.57 right here, you're going to go up 0.1076666 from that, and down 0.1076666 from that. So you'll do addition to know how tall it needs to be, and then subtraction to know how low it needs to be. And you'll do the same thing here, just instead you'll use the average that you calculated for the double stuffed Oreo, and then you'll use the 2SEM, which was 0.09795989 for those error bars. I hope that's helpful. Thanks for your patience with the chaotic recording. If you need more time, just rewind.